Hello everybody, Road Warrior 627 here, and welcome to another Thoroughbred Racing preview on my channel. Today we're going to be discussing a day that we've been longing for the longest time. It's opening day at beautiful Belmont Park. June 3rd, when I'm recording this, it's tomorrow. Should be up this afternoon. Congrats if you're one of the first few people watching, for we are about to dive in to, I would say, the single most anticipated card in racing over the last couple of months. No circuit at all competes with NYRA racing. It is the best of the best, and we're all certainly happy to see it back, and particularly at my favorite venue, to me the best sporting venue in all of sports, beautiful Belmont Park. Now, unfortunately, Belmont is not going to be used to its full potential because of the coronavirus. Nobody's going to be in the stands. At least I better hope there's going to be nobody in the stands, because if I find out that there's like people sneaking in there and NYRA's letting a few friends of people who work there in, I'm going to be very, very pissed off. And I'm going to demand that I get in too. But hopefully that doesn't happen, considering there's all temperature checks and you're supposed to have a reason to be there. Hopefully that's enforced. And hopefully we see Belmont back in the early fall, around September 12th. I think that's the first Saturday of the fall championship meet. Hopefully the place is open. And hopefully the third floor is open too, because it wasn't last fall. And considering that we're all going to try to keep with this social distancing thing, you may as well have the whole place open. And if they do not open the third floor in the fall, I am going to write very nasty letters to Dave O'Rourke and pretty much anybody that works at NYRA that has a say over that. But enough jib-jab. Let's get into the action. I'm not going to be giving selections for any of these 10 races. I'm more just going to give an overview of the card and who I'm interested in, if I'm even interested in the race at all. Some of these races are insanely tough. So let's dive into them. The first race is a 20,000 maiden claimer going the NYRA's favorite distance, 6.5 furlongs, on the main track. I'm really interested in the 4-horse in here. Star of the West, second-time starter for Rudy Rodriguez. Rudy always has a big hand at Belmont, and how appropriate would it be for him to take the first race? I'm not too interested in the favorites in here, lower-priced horses. The 6-horse, 12 to 1's always been in the money lately. I like that. I like consistency. Maybe throw him in the triple somewhere. And then I like the 8-horse. Michelle Nevin, Manny Franco, dynamic duo that works wonders over at Aqueduct. And seems to work wonders at Belmont a lot too. This horse debuted last year, had a big layoff, and then ran pretty consistently over the winter at Aqueduct, is again coming off a layoff now. And that's a very common theme on today's card. There's a lot of horses here that haven't run since New York last ran, which was March 15th. So there's a lot of horses coming off big breaks over 60 days to come in here. Let's move on to the second race. I'm, again, not very interested in here. But this race, actually, I'm a little bit more keyed on some of the favorites in here. Number 1, Mandate, Velasquez, and Pletcher. Obviously, a very good possibility. This horse has won well on the grass earlier this year at Gulfstream. The 2, Smile Brian, I feel like is going to be a bad favorite, if he's even going to be the favorite. He's going to be competing with Bray, who's kind of the hype horse in here. I believe he's 10. No, I'm wrong. Which one is Bray? Bray is the 8. Yeah, there we go, 9 to 5. He's a good favorite. I know he got beat by 6.5 lengths last time, but that debut at Aqueduct was ultra impressive. Maybe just wasn't ready second time out. It's a little bit of a step up now with a little bit of a break. This is a starter allowance, kind of the same level he ran at last time when he didn't do so well. But who knows, maybe that little bit of a break from, was he 3 last year, I would assume? Let's see. He was, should say, yep, he's a 4-year-old now, so he's a 3-year-old last year. Maybe he made a step up from 3 to 4. So I'm really keyed in on the 1 and the 8 in the second race. The third race is a 2-year-old firster race. There's a lot of guessing going on here. And this is a race that has the debut of a very hyped up horse named Fauci. Now, I love Dr. Fauci. I think he's handled this virus just as good as anybody. This horse, 4 to 5, 2-year-old debut, 5 furlongs. All it takes is for this horse to just be a little late coming out of the gate, and boom, your 4 to 5 is gone. So that's what I'm going to count on here. You can't key in on horses that are 4 to 5 in their first start as a 2-year-old. It's just not going to work out well for you. Sure, they win. They win a lot of the time. But when they don't break well, when anybody doesn't break well in these races, they're pretty much done. I'm actually interested in one of the 2 longest shots on the morning line in this race. That's number 4, Count the Shells. Now, these 5 furlong races are often won a couple of steps out of the gate. Whoever's fastest out of the gate tends to hang on. It's just a short race. It's the way it works. You've got a couple of good signs here. You got good workouts, including a bullet from the gate last time. So this horse has had gate experience. That's great. And Kendrick Carmouche, as good a speed rider as we have in horse racing today. So that's my long shot I'm going to try to use to upset Fauci in the third race. Let's move on to the fourth race. This is a weak claiming race. I'm interested in 4 horses in here. That would be the 3 Business Cycle for Gary Gull. I believe this horse used to belong to Chad Brown. Yes. In fact, that's true. He did. I'm also interested in the 8. That's Blue Belt. These are just really hard triers. There's not much else to say. And then 2 horses on the outside, the 13 Javelin and the 14 Bustin' the Rules. The only concern I have with Bustin' the Rules, obviously the turns are wider at Belmont, but that horse has the 14 post. I always like to try to pick Charlie Baker. I don't know if I can in this scenario, so stay tuned for my selections on Twitter tomorrow. And while I'm not betting all these races, I will have selections for every single race of the Belmont Park Spring Summer Meet. You can find those on my Twitter account at RoadWarriors627. So let's move on to the 5th race now. This is a maiden race, 6 furlongs on the inner, one of my favorite race configurations. And I have an opinion about this race that's pretty common among New York handicappers, and that is go to the firsters, especially on the grass. You see a lot more firsters win on the grass than win on the dirt, I guess because the grass is a kinder surface. But there are a lot of firsters in here, and there are some that are going to be some pretty big prices. For instance, Boston Girl, the number 3 horse, had a very sharp workout last time out, 47 flat, breezing from the gate, 2nd out of 61. Now that's on the training track. It's not on the turf. But considering this horse is being put on the turf, obviously they feel like she, yes, it's a she, can handle it. There's got to be Gold, who's a first-time starter, right next to, got to be Bold, excuse me, next to her in the gate. Magnolia's Lady, the 8 horse, seems to have a chance. So does the 11, Mizzy's Image, and the 13, if she gets in, Whistling in the Dark. There is a second-time starter I'm interested in this race as well, and that is number 6, Ramoan. I believe that's how you pronounce it. So this is Junior Alvarado and Tom Morley. Tom Morley is a very patient trainer, so hopefully this horse can improve off her first start where she didn't do much running. Because a lot of times you got to treat second-time starters just like their first-time starter. They're going into a race just to get some experience. And considering this horse was almost 15-1 last time and went out near the lead and then faded, you figure, look, they got her out there to be involved in the early pace, see what that's like, and then just let her do what she could. Now maybe she's developed from that first race into something better. And the workouts have been consistent. They haven't been flashy. but they've been okay. So let's now move on to the 6th race as I flip over my notes here. This is an allowance on the Widener, and this is a war. This is an insane race. I don't even know if I could tell you I have any opinions in here, let alone a strong opinion. You got Chad, you got Arnaud Delacour, you've got Clement, you got McGahee, you got Danny Gargan, Mike Stidham, Ray Handel, Jonathan Shepard's even got a long shot in here. You got another one for Shug and Jack Sisterson. This is just an insane race. There's no clear favorite in here. I guess everybody defaults to Chad on the inside, but inside posts on the Widener, going that kind of turn and a half, I'm not a big fan of that. I'd rather have somebody on the outside in that scenario. So just check for updates on the Twitter account as far as my selections tomorrow, because this race I looked at this race for probably about 10, 12 minutes, and that's usually a little bit longer than I look at a race. I know some people take 25 minutes a race. I just can't do that. I don't have time. But I'll have something tomorrow. I just don't have anything right now. Maybe a horse gets scratched and makes the picture a little bit clearer. The 7th race. Maiden Claimer, 6 furlongs on the dirt. This is my best bet of the day. Number 3 is Daithi. Mark Hennig, Johnny V gets on this horse. I was on this horse first time out. I thought that he was going to run very, very well. He did run very, very well. He was just second best, and he finished 3rd. Shouldn't have won, but he should have been 2nd, and he was a big price, in excess of 13-1. This horse was 8-1 on the morning line first time out and drifted up and still ran very well. Mark Hennig is great with his first-time starters. Where he's not great is a big layoff. 60 to 180 days, 4% of 28. I'm guessing that's 1 for 28. 30 cents on a $2 ROI. Where he does excel is maiden claimers. 4 for 16 in the last year. $3.16 on a $2 ROI. I'm very excited to play this horse. This horse showed a lot of resiliency first time out to get up for 3rd when the horse was 5 to 6 wide. I am sending it in on this horse. If there was one horse I had to bet on opening day at Belmont, this is the horse. Number 3 in the 7th race, Daithi. If you're considering playing other horses in the race, I would take a strong look at the 4 Bronze Lion. You got Asmussen and NYRA Ortiz. And then I'd look at the 8 horse, who's a first-time starter for Ray Handel. Now, Ray Handel does not do well with the firsters. But where he does do well is when he has horses that are underrated. When you see Ray Handel win, you usually don't see him with favorites. You usually see him with horses in excess of 5-1, sometimes even that 15-1, which he is on the morning line, this horse. The workouts have been very good. Has gate experience. I believe this is the only firster in the race. I am wrong. The 13 and the 14 are both firsters, so you both have to consider them too, simply for the fact that they haven't proven they can lose yet. I know that seems like a dumb statement, but it works all the time. When you have some firsters in a big field, the firsters tend to run very well. And I'm going to key in on that here if I choose to play something with Daithi. The 9's also a first-time gelding who did no running while he was still a colt. So you might want to take a look at that as well. Take a look at the 9-horse Lorenzen. Now, how much is that ultimate equipment change going to do? We don't know, but if you're willing to take a chance, 6-1 is just not a big enough price for me. This horse has shown absolutely nothing. And I get that there were maiden special weights, but this horse got beat 16 lengths, 27 lengths, 8.5 lengths. Better competition, yes, than what he's facing today. but you got to show me a little bit more than that. And those were all fast paces he had a chance to close into as well. All right, enough of this. Let's move on to the 8th race. The 8th race is an allowance mile on the Widener. I'm not enthused by anybody in here. Check back for selections tomorrow. That's really all I have to say about it. The 9th race is the feature. The Bogey, a mile and a 16th on the inner. You've got a matchup between Rushing Fall and Got Stormy. That's what everybody's talking about. Yet, there's a horse in here who loves Belmont Park, who's very consistent, and also trained by Chad Brown. And that horse is 55, the number 2 horse. Pretty much any time 55 runs, I pick her. But in this scenario, I'm not going to. I'm still going to pick her over Rushing Fall, and I'm probably going to put God Stormy 4th, because I'm tired of favorites. I'm trying to pick the least number of favorites this year and this meet as possible. I'm interested in the 4. Call Me Love. Shipper for Christophe Clement coming in. Junior Alvarado's riding. Now this horse has some workouts. Doesn't have any races here in America. The last workout was flashy. 47-3, breezing on the turf course for 4 furlongs. That was a bullet. Clement has my ultimate respect. I think he is one of, if not the classiest trainer, especially turf trainer, on the NYRA circuit. And yes, that includes Chad Brown. I think the 4 Call Me Love can spoil the party. And if the horse stays at 12-1, then you bet that I'm going to be playing this horse. These are the only 2 races where I would say I'm for sure going to bet. Is the 7th race and the 9th race. 7th race, Daithi, and the 9th race on the 4, Call Me Love. That is too big of a price for a Clement horse who obviously loves the grass. And look, it might rain. That's something I didn't bring up Tuesday night into Wednesday that might get those turf courses mixed up. And then, later on in the day, let's see what post time for this race is. Post time for this race is 5:36. There's supposed to be some rain tomorrow afternoon, too, and it's going to be heavier than what they originally thought. If it shows up, then you bet this horse has a chance. Because this horse ran pretty good across the pond. What is that? 5 for 8 lifetime? Yes, 5 for 8 in very good competition. So please do not let this horse get away. I've seen Graham Motion's horses with Johnny V down at Churchill 2 weeks in a row. He got away with 25-1 shots. Graham Motion and Johnny V, 25-1 shots 2 weeks in a row. You can't let this Clement horse get away at 12-1. You just can't. And if you do, I will be honored. Let's move on to the last race. This is 6 furlongs on the dirt. It's a claiming race. It's the get-out race. And to be honest with you, I don't know. If the number 1 horse runs back to his first race, he's probably going to win. It's that simple. If I'm going to take a shot against him, I'm going to go with the 7 Justice of War, just for the simple fact that he's the next best horse. Jose Lezcano, Linda Rice, very good duo. If I'm going to play anybody in the 10th, I'm going to play the 7. That's really all I got, guys. This is a very, very tough card. And I would like to think that they're going to get easier, because everybody's trying to run this first week. But nobody really knows if things are going to get easier here. Now, people say, oh, 11, 12 horse fields, that's great for the game. Yes, it is. People say, oh, they're great betting races. Not entirely. Not if you can't figure them out. And that's a point I'm kind of taking from Peter Rotondo Sr. and Lee Davis from their new Get Hot, Stay Hot podcast, which I encourage you guys to watch. Maybe I'll even link it down below in the description. It's very funny and it's very informative. I highly suggest listening to it. They talk about horse racing, but they also talk a little bit about life. It's just been a great show. But I digress. If things get easier, I'll be a little happier. I want to see. I prefer like an 8-horse field when I'm betting. These wars out here, aside from the third race and the ninth race, they're both 6-horse fields. All these fields are loaded with horses. There's going to be horses all over the track on Wednesday. There's going to be surprises coming. I'd be very surprised if only 3 horses pay over $10. I think there's going to be at least 5 or 6 horses that pay over $10 on this card. Because the races with the big fields, it's not like there's even a heavy favorite in there. And most of them anyway. So, good luck tomorrow, Wednesday, because you're going to need it. If you are playing this opening day card, you are going to need a lot of luck. And I guarantee you most of you are going to play it more than I am. Like I said, I only plan on really playing 2 horses. That's Diethi, the 3 in the 7th race, and the 4, Call Me Love, in the 9th race, the feature, which is the Bogey Grade 3. Those are my ideas for opening day at beautiful Belmont Park. Sammy is probably going to be joining me for the preview for this weekend, which I believe we're going to do the Westchester and the Carter Handicap. The Westchester Handicap and the Carter Handicap will be previewed this upcoming Thursday night. I believe we'll try to record the video then, and I'll try to have it out early Friday morning. This video will not be out until the afternoon. I apologize for that. I got a couple things to do. But that's it, everybody. Thanks for listening. Good luck opening day. And remember, pay your bills first, especially in this time of economic trouble that we're in with the virus. And one more thing, stay safe from the virus. And stay safe from these riots, man. You got blame on both sides. People need to listen to the Beatles. Peace and love. That's the only way. Listen to Ringo, listen to the Beatles. Peace and love. That's all I got for you guys. Good luck.